Hey guys, welcome to today's video. If you are new here, my name is Anna and I like to build in The Sims 4. Today we are doing a speed build in the world of Oasis Spring, which is one of our base game worlds. And I'm building a kind of modern, contemporary, kind of a little bit traditional-esque home. And this home has pretty much all the packs in it. It's definitely not a pack restricted build. But this is a build where I did design the floor plan on grid paper, and my inspiration for this build was the back section, which is the living area. I really liked the idea of doing just like a big giant rectangle that has your kitchen, dining, and living all in one. That open floor living. The only issue with that, as you can see, we've kind of got an overview, like a bird's eye view of the floor plan now. The hallways were massive. So we had this big kind of T-junction hallway that was extremely spacious, and I did have some issues furnishing that space so that it looked not empty. I guess that's spacing when you build in The Sims is definitely an important aspect, and a way that I have made sure that I am assessing that correctly is I've got some placement furniture, which is what I'm putting down now. So that kind of helps me gauge the layout of how big I want the kitchen to be versus the dining space to the living area, because this was the main inspiration for the build. So more on this build. So this particular lot that we are on is in so it's the lot where the Roomies household live. And every time I build on this lot, I always forget that because it's so horizontal and not so wide, you're forced to kind of do a side yard. So I really, in hindsight, should have put the back door potentially to the side of the build. That would have created better flow. But it looks all right. I'm happy with it. It turns out all right in the end. So let's kind of go over the floor plan as we're kind of mapping it out in front of you. So this area that I'm doing here is the front master bedroom. So you walk through the door, to your left, you've got a master bedroom ensuite. To your right, you have a teens girls bedroom. Down the hall, you've got a children's room. And then across from that, there's a study. And then the opposite end of the hallway is the main bathroom of the house. And then as you head towards the back of the property, it's that living quarters area, that living room, kitchen, dining. And yeah, no, I think this build came together quite easy. And I think that it's always challenging when you do a floor plan first, because doing roofing like we are here, and also the front of the build and adding character and whatnot, that's the hard part. That's where it gets tricky, because your inside is really lovely, but it's getting the exterior to look just as nice is where the challenge is. So this build, as you can mention, just gets in at 3 by 1.5 bathrooms. So it's not really 1.5 actually. It's kind of 2, because the ensuite is a proper size. Sorry, so it is a 3 by 2 with a spacious living. We do have a side yard, which you'll see shortly. We are just doing the roofing. The roofing on this one wasn't too bad. We did have one area which I do amend in the end, where the front porch, there was a bit of like an overlay ceiling, which I did have roofed. And I did find that it kind of made the front door very hidden, and there wasn't a lot of light in that area. In the end, I do decide to pull the roof back and expose the front porch, just because it adds more light. And I think because the wall height I've chosen for this build is a medium wall height, so the tall front door that we chose, it just got lost. And I think that it's much better with the roof pulled back. But you'll have to let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with that decision. All right, so what's in this build? So we've got a lot of Love Struck, as that is our newest expansion until Thursday, when Life and Death comes out. And I am in the works of doing a Halloween build and planning that, and potentially doing kind of like a Gothic style Victorian house I just feel like I'm in the mood for that, and I probably won't do one that's massive. It will probably be on the smaller scale, but I think that might be a good idea to do and potentially build in. I'm trying to think of what the vampires world is called, but using the vampires pact along with base game, because that's where a lot of the assets are from. However, I do find that with our most recent packs, even a little bit of Love Struck and some of the most recent kits, we're getting a lot of Victorian kind of inspired assets. And obviously, life and death is very much a part of that equation. And it's interesting. I think a lot of the assets are very modern-esque Victorian, and it looks like CC, but in a good way. And I think that's really good for console players to be able to have that opportunity to have those type of assets in their game. So we are up to windows. I used these black windows that you can see here. They are from Discover University. I'm not sure I've used them before, and I actually really liked them. And these other windows I think are Get Famous. Now we do start them out with in the black color, but all of the windows in the Get Famous windows that I use, I do change them to white. So one of the problems I had was balancing the white and the black color scheme throughout the build. So you'll see me in the build at several occasions adding columns and changing the color of this and fencing. So talking about the exterior, we are going into landscaping. Landscaping is very minimal in this build. I wanted the focal point to be the house. And I find that, like, if the landscaping is often a little bit too busy, sometimes it pulls away from the facade of the house. And so, yeah, I just kept it very simple. Some lay-lowing flowers, some white hydrangeas, some cypress trees, and some dirt. Oh, and shrubs. There's definitely some shrubs around. So I am just currently mapping out where I want my landscaping with the terrain tool. I find that such a satisfying action to do. I love it. It's just like, it's almost like you're coloring in. It's oddly satisfying. So this is where I noticed, again, as I said, I've built on this lot a few times before, and I always forget the fact that you need to do a side yard. So I did have to fence, and as you can see, I start with the black fencing, but it looks very stark, and it's like there's different shades of black in this game, whether it's more of a charcoal grey, or whether it's a jet black. So in the end, I went with a grey toned fence. It looks a bit beige in the recording as I'm filming this speed build, but it is supposed to be like a grey. We are going in with curve pools. So curve pools are fairly new to the game. I haven't done much other than an oval pool. I haven't really dabbled with the tool that much, but I thought it would be nice to include it in the build today. And then we will be moving in to some basic furnishings of the outside. I do just do like a entertainer's area, a barbecue area. I do use a lot of patio stuff, backyard stuff, Desert Luxe kit, and yeah, just not too much going on out here. The one thing that it's coming back to me, I did forget to put some like kids stuff out because it is a family home, but I didn't really have ample amount of space. I didn't want to really overly clutter this build because sometimes I feel with this kind of style, like a minimalistic approach is the way to go. Plus your game will run 10 times better because it doesn't have to load all those objects. Yeah, so that's kind of my thought process. I did try to use the Desert Luxe kit in terms of the couches and the lounges, but they just didn't really fit the vibe. As I said, this home, it wasn't fully modern industrial. It was more like a modern contemporary traditional home. So some of the objects I felt didn't fit the theme. So yeah, we are going in with a little bit of some planter boxes. I do like to have a lot of skill building in my home. It just makes it especially when you've got a lot of Sims. So in this household, you're potentially looking at a family of 5 or 6. So, you know, you need things for your Sims to do. And yeah, we're just finishing up the landscaping. So more of those low-laying flowers, hydrangeas, lilies. Are they lilies? Daisies. I think they're daisies, actually. Trust me to not know what it is. It looks pretty and it's white. And it's white flowers, and that's what I went with. I then was dabbling to which tree I wanted. But in the end, I just sized up some cypress trees just to kind of give a little bit of privacy to that area, because I don't know, it just gives it a little bit more of some privacy and some street appeal to the front. So the front of the house is very much coming together, and I think this was the point where in the build I was getting very excited about my build. It must happen to everybody, because I swear you reach a point where you're like, yep, it's coming together. Like, you can see the plan, it's coming together. And yeah, so this was that point for me. I absolutely love these outdoor lights that come from Lovestruck, that they, again, have that Victorian type feel. And in my opinion, they make the front of this build. It's like the slightest little change, and they just absolutely make it. This is the point where I was just dabbling with the accents. So we've changed the sliding door at the back to black, and I've decided that I wanted to do a white sliding for the base color of the house, just to keep it very simple. And I think it just has an elegance about it. And yeah, so this might be, oh yes, we are looking into flooring. And flooring took me forever. I think that was the hardest part of this build, was trying to work out what flooring I wanted. I think we do in the end stick with the light oak, because I wanted to use the dark wood so badly, but I don't think it works. You'll have to let me know in the comment section down below if you disagree, but it was my biggest struggle. Took me forever to work out about the flooring. The rest of the house came together fairly simple. I did really love the marble from Lovestruck, the plain white marble, so that's used in the bathrooms. I did attempt it here in the kitchen. I didn't like how it looked, so I just kept it in the bathroom and used the backsplash in the kitchen for the Parenthood one with the black and the blue. You'll see that shortly. I started out with white walls, and I think I do this sometime with decorating, where I start with white walls just to put something on the walls, and then when I go to decorate rooms individually, I will chop and change the room. Yeah. Okay, so this might be a good point in the video to just maybe have a little catch up. So it's been a while. Life has been kicking my butt. I've had many changes. I've moved house, I've changed jobs, and I've been planning a wedding and all sorts of things, but I just really wanted to do this today. I just had some time, and I just felt really inspired to build something and to share it with you all. And yeah, so that's what we've been doing. And we did mention a little bit about the new expansion pack on Thursday, so for Halloween. So I am very excited for that. I think it will be I think it looks good. I've watched a couple of reviews and some playthroughs, and I actually think the gameplay of the pack is very substantial. And yeah, it looks absolutely awesome. So that'll be very exciting. I'll have to do some content for that. And then you guys can share your thoughts of what you think of the pack with me. You can come along the ride. All right, so we are furnishing the main living area. So the main concept here is I wanted to pull in some colors from all 3 areas. So I initially wanted to pull in from the blue from the bar stools, but then I decided to add a secondary color, which is the red. And I like it. I don't know. It's not too bad. but I can say that it's not my best work in terms of decorating. But again, I just wanted to kind of dress the house a little so you could see what it's like. I'm definitely more of a builder and not a decorator. I think that is the one thing that I have learnt in my time of playing The Sims, but that's okay. We've got to start somewhere. Yes. So yeah, I thought a modular couch would be the best here because I was going with the 3 tile long couches and then the love seats. They weren't really positioning in the right way that you could still route around them. So I was happy with the modular couch. This is from Dream Home Decorator, which I do use a lot of in this pack. So it's Dream Home Decorator, City Living, Love Struck, High School Years, and yeah, but so yeah, as you can see, I'm pulling that light blue and that red color all the way through that area, and we're just cluttering it up the space. And yeah, just a couple of paintings. The paintings I use are from Love Struck. They've just got that color scheme, and as I said, because the stools, the chairs are from that pack, it just makes it easier. All right, we are only going to we're going to furnish, I think, 1 bathroom in this house, which is the main bathroom, which we're doing now. I really struggled what to do with this bathroom because of the shape. It was a bit odd, but I decided to put in a built-in shower because Love Struck, we had those, the new shower doors, the glass shower doors. So I've put in that and then just kept it very simple. The ensuite is also basically identical to this area as well, so you won't be missing much. The wallpaper is from High School Years, I believe. Yeah, just I think it's very simple, very modern. We are moving into, I believe, the hallways and the study. So I thought a chess table in this little hallway was a good way to break up the space because it was such a big area and it looked very empty. So I've just pulled the chairs from the dining room, and this blue painting from Dine Out I thought was really good. And then we just did like an entryway and, you know, just cluttered up the space. So yeah, a lot of the so I've used the red again in the hallway, and that kind of will lead you into the master bedroom. So we're now in the study, and I knew I wanted to put double desks and a plant in between them. I just thought it would look really quite nice. I was kind of umming and ahhing as to what plant, and in the end I think I went with everybody's favorite plant from Dine Out, the actual staple plant. And we put some bookshelves from the Book Nook kit. One of my favorite kits, absolutely. If you're looking for a kit and you don't own Book Nook, I would highly suggest it. It is a wonderful pack. I use that stuff all the time. And I thought I would squeeze in this new, is it like a chase couch from Love Struck? And that's the type of furniture I'm talking about, where I think it runs a little bit Victorian. So we might see a lot of that in our Halloween build, and I'm very excited to use those type of assets. Otherwise, I feel like they wouldn't get used. Like you do really need a thematic build to really use some of the objects that we do get in the packs. Okay, we are now moving in to, I believe, the boys' child's room. This was an interesting room. I really drew inspiration off of this bed, this kind of camo, I guess it's kind of like a darkish grey kind of color schemed room. It had a little bit of space theme as well, because we didn't really have a lot of army themed like assets. So I just kept the color scheme, kind of drew from the color scheme of that. And I just cluttered up the space. There's more desks. I think every room has a desk in it. Even though we have the 2 computers in the study, they can obviously do their homework and whatnot. I use a lot of kids' room stuff and parenthood in this room. And it was, just to kind of it definitely was a very spacious room, so that you could put toys in a room. Sometimes I do kids' rooms and they're quite small, but no, this was quite spacious. I really liked using the, well, it's, I think is it a bat? It's not Blarfy, but it's a bat. That's from Vampires. Or is it a vampire? No, I think it's a vampire. Anyway, he was cool. So we've got him, and then we've just put a diary on the desk and some, just kept it like very masculine. As you know, I don't play any kind of kids game without having the parenthood light because I don't have time for monsters under beds. So that we used like a dark teal color in that kids room, and I really liked the color theme. I felt, so this is the master bedroom. I did feel that we needed an additional window just because the lighting was a bit dark. The color scheme of this room was, I wanted it to be very modern. I wanted it to kind of be gold and dark because I wanted it to match the ensuite, and also very much, I guess, the color of the rest of the build. We do use a lot of Love Struck. We've also used a lot of Luxury Party. No, sorry, Vintage Glamour. I don't actually own Luxury Party. It's probably the only, I think it's the only pack I don't own. I just refused to buy it. It was like one of the first I ever created, and it just was no good. So these lovely chairs are from Love Struck, and I did like a little seating area. And at first it was just like, you know, put some seats near a window. And then I thought, oh, we've actually got that board game from Love Struck. And like, this just seems like a really kind of cheeky addition that we can add to this room. And I think the hardest part of this room was wallpaper for me. So in the end, we went with the, is it a cheetah print rug, and we used these really cool giraffe looking lamps from Vintage Glamour. And then I remembered Paranormal Stuff. We had this kind of like oriental flowered wallpaper, and I thought this in the black just looked really nice. Because of the pale flooring, I found that the wallpaper wasn't too overpowering. So yeah, I actually really liked this room. It turned out really good. My favorite room, which we will see shortly in a second, is the teens room. It's very much different to this room and the child's room. Very different, all three rooms, which is what I like to do. All right, so I wanted to use the Love Struck bed. It's not a high energy bed, but it is a very pretty bed. And I find this does happen with The Sims, where they give us new assets, especially beds, and they don't have a high energy rating, which means like when you actually play, like it's not an ideal bed to play with, but it just looks really pretty. And I really wanted to use this wallpaper. This wallpaper to me, like it definitely looks like it would be used in like a community lot, but I think as an accent wall or a focal wall, it actually looks really cool. And I just did a really super girly space, lots of pinks, yellows, browns. And yeah, it turned out really well. And I just used some of the new posters, some neon lights, and a desk in here. And I really like the side tables that match, the bedside tables that match with the bed. They're a really good texture. They're also the same type of kind of design or theme that go with the desks that are in the study. And we've gone in with is it like a woven printed rug? Just really nice. And it kind of pairs with the high school years Art Deco style. So yeah, this room came together fairly easy. And that is the build, guys. Join me in a second and we'll go through the house tour. Alrighty, let's start with our house tour. So this is the front of the build. We then head through the front door and we'll start with the hallways. We've got a very basic entryway, just a little bit of clutter in the hallway, that chest table, moving into the study. I love the vibes in here. Potentially the Sims are writers with the multiple computers. that boys' room. Really loved the colour scheme in here. That was that wallpaper I mentioned about. The teens' room. So this is my favourite room in the build. I just really like how girly and colourful it is in there. The master bedroom. It's a whole different vibe in here, and I like it. I think it pairs well with the rest of the house and the ensuite. That is the ensuite that you may or may not have seen. Very similar to the main bathroom of the house. Our stunning kitchen, living room and dining. And then we head out to the back, and this is our entertainers area and the side yard. So that is it for today. If you are still watching at this point, thank you very much, and I appreciate. I hope you have a wonderful day.